today, a two-bit expose of the same old story that I heard yesterday. Yeah, goes the headlines, man. They all just go to plan. Their brain, the fixed and breathing. You know they're all just spam. So buckle down.
Come right in under your skin. Woo, this one's hot. Hey. Good. Why, Scott?
Because I'm just tired of that same old shit. How about you?
Tired of the same old shit. Crazy. Hey,
Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, or some people call it Friday. And we are hot today, aren't we? I'm hearing myself talk.
Let me go.
This is the Grounds with Giles and Jones. I'm Giles, and the pretty good-looking dude that just walked off with a cute yellow hat there is Jones, where we talk about everything from peanut butter to politics, but no politics.
Yeah.
Because who wants to talk about politics?
That's right.
Why would you want to talk about politics?
No better way to end your week, start your Friday, start your weekend, however you want to look at it. If you're a starter or a finisher, congratulations. But, of course, the Grounds brought to you through the financial support of our good friends over at
Fantasy Factory Romantic Boutique over at 818 Front Street here in McHenry, also considered Route 31.
Yeah.
Stop in and see how we can help enhance your romance.
Because Valentine's Day doesn't have to be only February 14th, folks.
I make every other day Valentine's Day.
Put your heart on.
February 14th.
Put your heart on every Saturday.
Yeah. It's amazing how much business picks up close to Valentine's Day over there.
I imagine.
So everyone's only getting it once a year now.
Yeah, I imagine. Listen, this is riveting stuff that's happening right now here at 216 Creator Studios, 216 The Net. We are now live on things like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and are you ready?
Tweety.
Twitch.
Yeah, I heard that one yesterday.
Twitch. We are twitching right now. We're all over Twitch. We're big time. Twitch is what all the hip groovy kids are doing.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Is that the new thing?
We're out there. You're out there. Now, The Grounds is the most unique show that you're ever going to find on radio or on radio.
Or on radio or on the internet.
On radio or radio. Well, you
find
a lot of these.
Well, the radio is the thing that's in your car, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this is the internet radio.
But is the internet in the car?
Yeah, it is.
Is it? Oh,
a lot of them have hotspots, yeah. But Uncle Pete's going to show up on your screen right there. Uncle Pete is coming up. And Uncle Pete says, copy this and paste this URL, this address, put it in your URL, and come be part of this show. The Grounds is all about, having a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Cup of tea.
Cup of tea this morning for me.
And
coffee's coming soon.
Yeah, tea, coffee, and hang out and just talk about anything and be part of the show. There was a time way back in the 2000 and teens where people actually would get together and have coffee together.
Yeah.
And,
well, that's what the show was born from.
And
right?
And then, the pandemic happened and nobody could touch humans. So here we are. And we are absolutely just having a good time this morning. Kind of a free for all. We're going to ask you guys, what is it that you want to talk about? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And let's just have some fun. We were talking a little bit about the universe, what the universe feeds you, signs, universe, right. God, whatever you want to call it,
energies.
Yeah, is it an open? Is it an opening door or is it a shiny squirrel?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And that's something. Well, I mean, a sign. Something that's kind of pushing you one way or pushing you another way, and that's something everybody kind of has to decipher for themselves. Right. Going, why did this come about at this point? Like. Why did a job offer, a house come for sale that you really wanted for a while, and you got to sit back and think, why is this happening right now? It didn't happen last year when things were better or something like that, right? And that's something we all play into every day, right? I mean,
and for everybody out there just tuning in, I want you to know Scott looks a lot better. Got rid of the beard.
Don't I look a lot younger?
You do.
I dropped like 10 pounds in the face.
Yeah, isn't that something?
It's
good.
Well, that's what
you had a nice beard going, but yeah.
No, it was looking really good, but I literally, we were talking about that last week. I looked in the mirror, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's why I got rid of the beard. I've wore a beard for years and years and years, but that's why I just dropped down and go.
That was my sign when you said I looked good. As long as I just dial it up, Ken's going. Yeah. I really don't look good. I know he's just trying to make sure I just stay behind him in the looks category.
No, can't do that. Hey, Tim Santos. Good morning, Tim. Of course, one of the hosts of Let Me Tell You Something, Brother. He also runs a great health markets agency down on Green Street here in McHenry. Absolutely love. He and his wife Sally do a lot of good things.
If you're looking for insurance, I think they cover all avenues, right? Health, life. I don't know if they do home and auto. Tim, you do home and auto?
They don't do the PNC.
No.
Yeah. Okay, but they'll work with people with Medicare, and I mean, he's brilliant at that.
Very good, very good people. Very good people.
Listen, you love it. We woke up this morning. It's beautiful. It's white. It's cold. It's a gorgeous day.
Oh God,
the sun is shining.
It was a gorgeous night. Even a lot of people.
I spent 2 hours outside.
My son and I were outside last night in the snow, shoveling the driveway, and pulled out the 4-wheelers and we're ripping up and down the road.
Yeah,
and I looked at my son. We're just standing outside. I'm like, this to me is what it's all about. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah,
and I can just enjoy the calm and the peace.
You got a plow in front
of my sign? No, I shovel. I have a little snow blower, but I shoveled the driveway actually twice yesterday. And that's for me. That's people probably think I'm weird, but that's relaxing.
Yeah. It's therapy.
Right. It's therapy.
It's a good workout.
Good exercise. Yeah.
It's a good workout.
And I see the instant gratification. That's what I started talking to you a little earlier about the signs, right?
Yeah.
And the things that happen. And for me, a lot of people are into that instant gratification. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, me as well. I like to do projects that happen right away so you can see the change.
Yeah.
And that shoveling the snow is a benefit both way.
Yeah. It's good, but that's the sign for me was this. In August, I started up the snow blower, let it run for about 10 minutes, one pull, vroom, one pull, just goes, let it run for about 10 minutes, get the gas moving in and out, good gas, bad gas. And then right before Thanksgiving, I'm like, well, let me do it again. Make sure, when this first snow comes, she's ready.
You're really prepped.
Boom. And first pull, run 10 minutes.
I know where this is going.
2 weeks ago when we had that 6-8 inches.
Yeah.
I get out there and I throw my shoulder out. The damn thing won't start. Won't even pop.
Did you remember to turn the key on?
Yeah. Oh, everything was on. Listen, I don't have the electric start. And so I'm throwing out my shoulder. And I just start kicking this thing. I'm pissed, right? I've literally lost it. I'm kicking it. I'm pounding it. It's a big one, and I end up.
That's what she said.
I end up actually ruining the handle. I mean, I was pissed, kicking it, throwing it. I mean, my neighbors were probably like, "What the hell is this?"
They were laughing at you, going, "Look at he's beating an inanimate object."
I was so pissed because I was like, I went out. I wanted to use a snowblower. And so I shovel, I go inside, I tell us, take a picture of that goddamn thing, get rid of it. I don't care if you get $1 for it. Get rid of that fucking thing. I was so pissed. And then last weekend, I'm at home. It's beautiful, right? It's 50 degrees here where we're living. And my mind goes, hey, you know what? You should go out and fix that, fix the handle. And this is what goes on in my head. Maybe put some stable in there, get it running this weekend. And I go, no.
Nah.
And then
here's your sign.
Yeah, here's your sign. And then yesterday, as I'm scraping off the ice and stuff, I was like, yeah, I should have done that.
That's too funny. So you never figured it out, huh?
I didn't put any time into it. So I talked to it's probably got a little dirty gas or something in the carb, right?
Right.
And
It sucks up, man.
Yeah. And so I was just like, where I had all the time and it was beautiful weather last weekend, I could have.
Right.
Because I was grilling. Was grilling. We grilled steak and chicken and everything on Super Bowl Sunday. I mean, it was beautiful, right? But I was like, man, I'm not gonna deal with that today.
Been there.
Yeah.
Well, actually, when we were riding, one of the 4-wheelers we were riding is my wife's, and it'd been sitting for the last probably year and a half that she didn't ride it at all. So it got all gunked up and messed up in the carburetor. So we took the carb apart and fixed it. cleaned it out and stuff like that. So probably the same thing you got, but that's why I'm like, I'm going to use this thing because who knows how much more snow we're going to get. And there's nothing more fun than just that free, getting out there in the snow and just.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, and I went
off.
out and played with the dogs a little bit in the backyard and had a good time. That's that. Yeah, man. Here's the interesting thing too is where I lived for the last 18 years, no curbs, right? We had no curbs out there in Wonder Lake. So, I mean, the plows would get into your yard, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? Here they stay in the middle of the road. They don't even get close. I'm like, man, would you just
come over a few more inches,
a
few feet,
couple feet, but I guess they're afraid of breaking up the curb or something. I don't know in the city.
Just they only get one pass. That's it.
I guess
it's like the new garbage trucks. It's one pass only.
I will say this: all the years that I was out in Wonder Lake, the guy running the plow knew me, and he knew I was always because I hate a snowy driveway. I absolutely hate it. One of my biggest pet peeves is when it snows and people track it. Right? They drive on it and it packs it down.
Yeah, and then you got to shovel it.
Yeah, you got to really dig at it, right? So that's one of my pet peeves. And so the guy running the plow would always get to my driveway, which you saw was 3-4 car wide driveway.
Right,
it was a big one. And he would get in there and he'd tilt the blade so it pulled it away from my driveway.
Nice.
Yeah, right. So I mean, there was a couple times where I'd give him, a Panera, gift card or whatever. Say, hey man, thanks for your hard work. Here, grab a hot coffee.
That's good people right there, right? Because that didn't take him anything more to just readjust his blade for you.
Right.
To me, that's good people. I love people like that. You know, I mean, I miss that. You don't get enough of that. And I mean, just the people that wave to you,
right?
When you're driving down the street, or a person that smiles at you. Changes their day. We always talk about changing days and, or changing people's days and like a daily dose of encouragement for people.
Yeah.
It's amazing how you can change people's days literally just by smiling at him. We're turning your plow blade away from his driveway, right? I mean, that little bit of less snow that he threw at your driveway, you're very appreciative of that. Right?
So I'm the guy, I would do the snowblower and go across the street. So everything.
Blow it to your neighbors.
Yeah. Yeah. Dan would get it over there. But now, I was out and I was moving snow and everything. And, the city guy doesn't know me, but come ripping by. And then, I waved to him like, hey, man, and.
Because you're being human, right? You wave to him. He's like, wow, somebody acknowledged that I'm actually here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's big. That's all a lot of people want is just acknowledgement that they're here and they're alive and a human, right? Like, how you doing? I mean, how hard is that? And so many people can't do that. People are stuck in their wheel like this.
Yeah.
Staring forward, and it's just a little. Not if they see us though.
The other fun thing is, I'm the idiot out there. I've got a rear-wheel drive. I got the big truck, right? And I get mad at it because it's got the traction control.
Yeah, you can't take it off.
Yeah, you can, but it times, I think, and it comes back. I don't know. It doesn't stay off. But I love Dukes of Hazzarding and drifting in the snow and getting out.
That's what we were doing last night on the four-wheelers.
Oh, yeah. So I'm that idiot out on the road, and Alice always gets people that are on the road with me get nervous. I'm like, no, I got this. We're okay.
Yeah, Alice is the one getting nervous. She's just trying to use other people as the scapegoat, right?
Yeah.
Don't do it. You're scaring other people. When over there, she's probably white knuckling it.
Yeah. Oh well, I almost wrecked the Telluride because we got the 2021 Telluride, and I started drifting around a corner. Well, it's got snow. It's called a snow mode.
Right. Yeah, snow mode. Right.
Which grabbed. So as my rear end is coming around like this, it grabs and it almost shot me straight.
Yeah. That's
right.
Scary. A lot of this stuff is meant to, help you out. And actually for old drivers like us that are used to sliding all around, those things are bad.
And the car that I was headed toward, they were at a stoplight because I come around on the stoplight. It was by the Holiday Inn. So we're coming off of 31. It was during the gala, so I'm like, woo.
Oh, that was a good snow too.
so I'm like, woo. And then it caught and about shot me into the car waiting at the red light. The look on their face was like, oh, and I'm like,
there's your sign. Stop messing around, honey.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, of course.
That's fun stuff though.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's that's obviously a little bit more dangerous, but
Kids don't do that at home.
Yeah, don't do that at home. We do not here at 216 tell you to do
Condone
that
that,
and then
right.
support you driving like that. But
That's
if you
right.
want to, just do it on an empty road. Just do it on an empty road.
Right. Yeah, but it's or parking lots or whatever. Fun,
right?
Fun. You get in there and just goose it a little bit. Let that back end come around.
And right. And for me, it's like when you do that stuff, it literally is. I don't want to say mindless because you got to think about what you're doing, but it is kind of mindless, right? Because then all your worries of the world kind of float away. Kind of like the because you're focused so much on just that one spot.
Yeah,
and it's really important to do that, to have those times to where you can actually just shut it down.
Yeah, right.
To not think about anything, because it's really hard. It's, people say that all the time, how important it is just to shut down, but it's not always an easy task to do. And simple things like that, playing in the snow with your dog or driving your car in the snow, you know what I mean? It can just reset you.
Yeah.
I mean, me standing outside in the snow, just staring up at the snow, I think my neighbors probably think I'm crazy, because I'm literally, when it's out there, when it's snowing, I'm out there.
I am too, all the time.
It's just so calming.
My neighbors, I'm known in the neighborhood as the guy who's always doing something in his yard or working on, because all the the ring doorbells or whatever
are watching.
They're all watching, and I'm always working in the yard. I've taken down trees, shrubs, whatever, mowing, trimming, working on projects out in the shop, whatever, and when it's snowing, I'm out there.
So what you're saying is you can't sit still.
No, I can. I'm very good at being doing nothing all day. But I love staying busy, keeping my hands right. Idle hands are the devil's whatever.
Right. Idle hands are devil's
tool or toy.
Devil's tool or something like that. Devil's lettuce, idle hands.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, it is. And what do they say? Is an idle mind is a devil's workshop.
Yeah.
Right. And for years, I never really kind of understood that. Mm-hmm. Right. And I think so in this case, if you look at that, right, when they say that, the devil is really yourself, right? An alter ego of yourself, because in your mind, your mind is rethinking things and looking at things differently.
That's what creates a lot of anxiety.
A lot of anxieties, right? I mean, because you're in your own head. We talk about, this stuff just on an everyday occurrence, really, with people, or at least you and I, right? But that is so true. And I was thinking about that. I think it was a couple weeks back that it really just hit me, going, holy shit. All these sayings that you hear growing up as a kid, right? You are what you eat. Yeah, it's wisdom, right? But I mean, it's a simple wisdom.
You a dick, then?
What's that?
If you are what you eat, why do people call you a dick?
I'll take some of that.
Hey, all right.
Hey, it is Friday.
Hey, hey, look at that. All right. Look at this beautiful lady jumps in, says, my mind never stops. So she's the devil.
Well, that's right. Well, I mean, and that's the thing, is controlling that, because it's going to happen. So how do you push it in good direction?
All right. So to be honest, I can't comment on that because I'm not a mom. Mom's minds work differently and never shut off for different reasons than dudes.
100%.
Right. I mean, that's just, that's that mother hen. That's the protector. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, I don't even think it's just mothers. I think it's just, obviously, ladies think differently than men. I mean, there's a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, there's, what is it? Women are from Mars, men are from Venus, whatever it is.
Whatever. I never read the book.
Just right. Well, it's actually a pretty decent book to read, just to kind of understand. But yeah, it's women's minds definitely think differently than us. And Deidre's saying she doesn't shut off. My mind doesn't shut off, but I'm trying to learn. I'm training it.
Yeah.
Right. I'm a brain in training.
Yeah. Mine doesn't. But here's the weird thing. Like, I could be having a real good conversation with somebody at work or whatever and go, God, that would have been a great show.
That's when you write that shit down, right?
And you're just like, man, that would have been great on the air. Right.
Right.
Let's see. She says, I think it's being a mom, female, introvert, and business owner. Yeah. All the above. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, and I'll be the first to tell you, because literally my son is out of the house. He and I are the only men. Even my dogs are ladies, right?
Yeah, you got the.
So I mean, and if you ask Lana, I've got a lot of female tendencies, right? If you ask Lana, Duncan Hartgraves, and and I like it's got to be Lisa, of course.
Right.
It's just that women actually think yes, about anything other than boobs. You're right. Yes. Let's be honest.
Let's be honest. Well, actually, and they might be thinking about boobs as well. Though,
okay. God put them there because He never wanted us to look you in the eye.
That may very well be true. Now that you think about it,
because if He didn't want us to look at Him, He would have put them on your back. Let's be honest. Right? Anyway. You never thought of that, did you, Scott? But that's true.
No.
I mean, it would be nice for dancing if they were on your back.
Right? Because it'd be something easy to hold on. Oh, a slow dance.
A lot of slow dance.
See, we're thinking.
Right.
We're thinking. God, just
we think about what does she say? We think about bras and how much we hate them. Oh yeah, the freedom when you get home and you can zip.
Yeah, I've never, and that's a conversation obviously you don't have with a woman other than probably your girlfriend or your wife, right?
Yeah.
But how many people I've heard in the last couple of years talk about that? Like, oh, first thing I do when I get home, take my bra off. I'm like, all right, your husband's got to be happy. Oh no, I'm just miserable.
Yeah.
It's like, well, there's your sign. Don't wear one.
Well, there's a lot into that. I won't go there. Best part of the day, bra off. Ding, 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 ding. For everybody.
For everybody.
Unless it's your daughter, then it's not good.
Deidre, put them on our back, then there would be back, then missionary style would not be a thing.
Well, that would be interesting.
They are thinking there.
Probably.
Yeah, they are thinking though, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right.
Why do you think that is? That our brains just never literally shut off? Is it because I mean our brain is there for survival? That's what our brain is meant to do: is survival.
Yeah,
right. To keep us safe,
keep you alive.
Right, to keep you alive. So why does my brain think about some of the crazy shit it thinks about? I don't think that's survival.
That's creativity.
Is it?
Yeah, if you didn't think about if your brain wasn't going there, and Lisa knows better than I do, but if your brain wasn't going there, you would think of you'd probably kill yourself, right? You'd probably think of, man, I hate life, right? But with all the creativity, that's your mind keeping you alive by going, think of these weird things, Scott. Look here, go there, dig deep. Now, when we were in our 20s and 30s. Right.
We didn't.
We thought, and this is just men, I think, but we thought that we had it figured out. But now that you're in your 50s and you look back to your 30s, you're like, I had no idea about.
Yeah, I was a dumbass.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And so there's this moment of what I call wisdom, and Pete talked about it all the time. He goes, I absolutely, people ask your favorite point in life. He goes, my 50s, I absolutely love it because I understand the wisdom, things like that. And he goes, I would never want to be 20 again. Right. And I think that in men anyway, I'm not speaking about women because you're on different levels than we are, but there's that sense of wisdom where you go, oh shit, I get what my dad was talking about then.
Right. Right. It just starts to kick in as you get older. And, it's kind of unfortunate that it takes that long really to get to that point, to really understand, because a lot of it is really simple, like the comment, you are what you eat. Literally, it's a very valid, very true statement. Yeah. But as a kid, I'm okay, no problem. Don't worry about it. Then you get yourself in these shitty, crappy habits, and and then all of a sudden you're 50 and you look down like we were talking about. You look in the mirror, going, "Who's that fat guy?"
Yeah. There's Lisa says there's injury involved in not wearing one for some of us. And
that's true.
And sometimes it's creativity, sometimes it's escapism. Yeah, I think that's what I mean. You read the stories, or you've heard motivational speakers. There's a gentleman who was in World War II, I think, that was in he was a prisoner of war, and he was put in a box. Right, I don't know if it was World War II or Vietnam, and he's in basically underground in a box, right, in solitary confinement, and for months. And all he did every day in his mind was he golfed his local golf course in his mind. and he was, let's say he was, let's say par was 72, and he was like a 18 over or something, or
Right.
a bogey player, but when he was rescued then and he got out, because that's what kept him sane, right? There's that escapism.
Right.
He saw the trees, he saw the green, he smelled the air, everything. That's what kind of kept him going, and he kept getting better on that golf course. So when he went back, this is a true story, when he went back and he played that course, he like birdied every hole because he had played it so often.
Right. It was just a replay in his head, right?
Yeah.
It was become probably like a muscle memory, even though he didn't do it.
Right.
Because the mind is such a strong thing.
So that's
remembered it.
That's that kind of escapism, but that's the brain. That was the brain's way of keeping him alive.
Right.
Right.
He was looking forward to something. He was doing something he was enjoying. I mean, because that right there is just a test of the mind.
Yeah.
Strength of that individual, right? Because what do you do when you get put in a situation like that? He chose the positive end of it, right? Or to find some type of positive stroke on that. Because I mean, what do you really do when you're in a box?
Yeah.
So that's good. So he trained his mind, and that was his escapism.
Yeah.
And it was also, kind of dreaming, right, of a better day.
Yeah. And Lisa says that the unconscious mind does not know the difference in what it sees that's literally happening or what you create. That's why they say read books. Read books, not listen to books, because as you're reading a book, your subconscious mind doesn't know if that's you bringing up these thoughts or thinking this, or if it's a book, because you hear those voices. How many times have you read a book and heard the voices, and you watch the movie and you're like, fuck, that's it, they're not supposed to sound like that.
Right. Yeah, right.
Like, I don't look like that.
Well, I mean, and I don't want to say reading a book. Well, reading a book is kind of a form of escapism, right? Because you're turning off your inner brain from talking and twisting you around. And I totally agree with what you're saying as far as reading the book versus listening to it, or even watching like a movie.
Yeah.
People always say the movie was different than the book or what have you. But I know when I read, my mind has to focus on what I'm reading to comprehend. I mean, it doesn't have to, but as a general rule, you can get it to do that. Yeah. And it slows your brain down, right? To stop thinking about the little shit that might be worrying in your head, or the little issues that you may have going on in your life at that time. And so it's definitely more calming. And I definitely think you get more out of reading it.
So Lucy, she's in 8th grade, my daughter. And, in 8th grade, we read books like To Kill a Mockingbird,
George Orwell's 1984.
Right. I mean, we read the classics. Their classic, which threw me, is The Outsiders. So she's like, Dad, do we have a VHS or something? Because we have VHSs still. Don't kid yourself. Or a CD or something of The Outsiders. I'm like, I'm sure we do. She goes, I want to see the movie. I think the movie will be better than the book. So I'm like, wait, you're reading The Outsiders? Yeah, we're reading the classics.
That's considered a classic now, huh? Wow. The world has come a long way.
I'm like, oh, man. All right.
What is it? Gone with the Wind and The Outsiders. Right. Classics from the 70s.
Golden, Pony Boy. If you do the...
Golden what?
Stay Golden, Pony
Boy.
Boy.
Stay Golden. Oh, I thought I was going different.
If you do the practice of regularly seeing yourself a certain way until you actually feel the emotional response of it actually being that way, your body will respond.
That's kind of
that's a lot of words.
It is, but I think what she's trying to say, if you think about it enough, and it'll become like a muscle memory, right? Your body will continue to do it every day, without thought.
Yeah.
And if you're constantly, you're programming your brain to think this way instead of another way, and that's true. It's it becomes a habit or a routine.
So
we've talked about.
I was in a referral group meeting this week, and one of the questions was, would your middle school self like you today? Would your middle school self like you today? Could you hang out? What's your answer?
I'm with my middle school.
Yeah.
God, I don't know. I mean, I was a active kid, but I think I was a I was a good kid. You know what I mean? As far as being like a friend and, doing
So
things
would
for
you,
people.
would you
think-
today hang out with your middle school self?
Yeah, I would think so. It would definitely be interesting, but I would hang out with myself. I mean, I've always had that. I feel like I've always, and I could be wrong because obviously I view myself as myself.
Deidre says yes, 100%.
Yeah.
For her, not for
me.
and Lisa says my middle school self would be proud of me. Yeah. Here's how I answered that. You know how I answered that? I go, hell yeah. I go, my mind thinks I'm only in middle school anyway. I said my body's gotten older, but all men are pretty much idiots. I don't think we ever mature past middle school. I'm like, I'd absolutely hang out with me.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, that is true.
I'm like, I'm that dumb. Just let's be totally honest, right?
I did a lot of fun, cool shit back in middle school.
I'm like, your mind, to me, and this, I'm not a doctor, but I always say your mind kind of stops, this, how you feel and how you think of yourself. And people ask, and I'm like, mine is probably 22 to 25. That's my self-image. That's where my mentality stopped, right? I was like, yep. And so, I'm still surprised when I get out of the shower and look in the mirror and there's an old man looking at me like, man, what am I at the YMCA? This is gross. Oh, that's me. Quit looking at me. Why is there a dirty, naked old man staring at me? And then my mind catches up and goes, ooh,
that's me.
Ooh, buddy. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think, it's funny that you say that because I was actually talking with my dad, was it last week? And my dad they turned 83 this year.
Yeah. Hey, happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
That's
and actually,
awesome.
my dad's my mom's is the 4th, and my dad's is on the 30th. So they're like 20. What is it?
There's not a 30th of February.
Or 28. Sorry. No, of November. Did I say February?
Yeah, you said
no,
this
November.
Month.
Sorry.
You said this month.
No, I was talking to my dad.
Oh, yeah.
But he was talking. I was like, is it just me? I said, I know I look old, and this is when I still had the full beard. I said, I look old, but why the hell do I still feel like I'm 19?
Yeah.
And every answer thing that I got going on, I'm thinking about it from a 19-year-old. My dad's like, I'm the same. He's like, I'm 83 years old. My body's telling me I'm not.
Yeah.
But my mind, and I said, well, so that's good in a way, right? I mean, because that's keeping you young.
Yeah.
It's keeping fresh thoughts, because I think if you aren't that and you start to think like an 83-year-old, right? I mean, you're going to go downhill a lot quicker, because at that point, I don't want to say there's not much to look forward to, because there can be plenty of life to look forward to, but there can also be some regrets and things that you're looking back, holy shit, I didn't do.
Yeah.
Because I'm 19 in my mind, I never did it, but my body now is telling me you didn't do that. You don't have much time left to do that.
Oh, you got a lot of time. So that's so if you read the Bible, anybody who reads the Bible, there are people who are like 900 years old, right? So God, spirit, universe, whatever, right, created life, right? Did not create death. So the plan was to create life, not death.
Right. We created death by doing all the stupid shit we do.
Right. And so now you look at it and go, if he created life, why can't you live forever? Right. Because your mind goes, well, that's the
devil inside of us. And I think so for me, being a little bit opposite end of the spectrum with you as far as how God interacts, or spirits or energy interacts in our life. Right. So really, to me, the devil is not an energy or a presence or a person or anything like that. It is yourself. Like I am my own devil. Like I'm the one, because nobody else really pushes me. And my mind is the one that allows me to think the thoughts that could be bad, right? Or that put me in a bad situation. Yeah. And that's where I think when they come up with, the devil, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. I think that's where that comes in.
Hey, it's Drew Cappuccino just walked in this morning.
Where's the cappuccino?
We'll do that with our best radio voice, Drew Cappuccino here in studio now. Fantastic, Drew. How are you this morning? Good to see you. We can make a seat for you, but you'll have to unmute number 4 over there.
Yeah.
And then change.
We were just talking about, was your head ringing?
Yeah.
Yes.
We were talking about the devil.
Oh, hey.
Here, my friends.
Yeah.
Number
It's on the
4.
party.
Let's get it straight from the mouth. Yeah,
Straight
here we
from
go.
the mouth.
What does Lisa say? Lisa's and turn up. Push it up so that people can hear you if you sit down with us.
There
Yeah,
you
that'd
go.
be good. Yeah.
Oh God, look at Lisa. She's got a half a book written there.
So you don't think like a 19-year-old. A 19-year-old isn't wise enough to know to think about what they think. You just have to have not had. Can you
Had
read that, Scott? Thanks.
limitations and expectations placed in your head of age. Placed in
Age.
your head of age.
Yeah.
Bless your parents and situations for that allowed you to open up and not have the battle. The internal battle.
Let me get you in on.
We're gonna.
on
We're
camera
changing
here.
views here.
Yeah, let's get him in on camera.
So-
Camera.
This
Changing-
man. Let me
changing
tell you,
the-
if anybody has a face for radio, it's got to be Drew. Let's get him on.
For sure.
Hey, there we go. Now we're all three.
There he is. All right.
It's
yeah.
Friday. That's an interesting comment that Lisa makes.
Yeah, but that's the joy of the human brain and mind, right? There's two different things. The brain is the muscle that's in your head. It's inside the skull. Your mind is what
Everything
it
inside
rips
how you
around in
think.
all those folds and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so the muscle, the brain is again meant to keep you alive. That's its
Right.
job.
Its main job is
That's its
survival
job.
mode. It's
Yeah.
not to prosper. It's to keep you safe. That is the brain. That's why we have such turmoil, with making decisions and doing stuff. Is your brain is saying, "Don't do that. You need to keep yourself
Right.
safe."
The
Do
brain
the-
is your computer.
Right.
It's everything about you.
And mine
So
has a
it's-
lot of artificial
It's how your
intelligence.
arms move. It's how you breathe. It's how you do everything.
Well, all that stuff's muscle, arm breathing, legs, heart, all
Sure,
that is
without a
done.
brain, it
You don't have
wouldn't
to,
do
right.
anything.
You don't have to think
You would
about
be-
that.
You'd be a blob.
Right.
You'd be a blob,
We
but
did
you-
that Bernie's.
Right. You don't have to think about that. But your brain does. Right. Your brain doesn't think about that. It's and it's not even your subconscious does it. Keeps it running. Right.
That's
But
a good, The Weekend of Bernie is a great movie, but how'd that guy not start stinking?
because it was Hollywood. Because it's
Man.
something you didn't think
Or
about.
stiffen up. I mean, because
Stiffen up.
I
Right,
watch
yeah,
a lot of CSI. Rigor
Lots
starts.
of pine trees that you hang from there.
rigor
Yeah,
mortis.
right,
Rigor mortis
right.
kicks in early.
That's right.
Right. They weren't carrying around bags of lye. Whoops. I mean, never mind.
We don't talk about
We don't
that.
talk about
We don't
that.
talk about that.
Whoops.
What happens here stays here.
That's right.
That's right.
It's not Vegas here.
Yeah. Well,
But it's
and
close.
that's and then in the green room, that's what we were talking about. Is there's situations that are happening right now that are going on in my life that I'm going, okay, is this a sign to say this, or is this a squirrel to get me off track from this? Right.
And that's
So it's a constant battle all the time.
that's like that every
You
day,
know,
bud. You know
yeah.
that.
Or is it going, oh, wait a minute.
Right. Well, and that's for you,
You
to
know?
decipher.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's for me where for me it's imperative to have some type of support system other than, and I don't. Your wife obviously is there as a support system, but having a support system like boys, the guys to sit and talk together about what's going on.
Yeah.
The girls can sit together and talk together about girl things or guy things, right? But these things with guy, these are sometimes things you don't want to bring up to your significant other because you might cause them to start thinking a little bit harder, a little bit faster about something they don't need at this point to do.
Yesterday on Roger That Chronicles, great new show.
Yeah,
it
that
was their
was-
second.
Love that show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was their second show. It was a good show, and they talked about transitioning from the
Military back into civilian
back into
life.
civilian life.
Yeah.
And hey, Jen, good morning. Glad to have you with us. And
Morning, Jen.
And what dawned on me during that show is that a lot of the transition is hard because it's a different camaraderie, right? I mean, it's the three of us. We got, we're at war. We got bombs going off around us, and there's a closeness. Like, I've got your back. I need you. We need each other to survive and get out of this. And then you come home, and you guys aren't there because you stayed in and I got out. And now I'm all by myself. And again, back here in America, everybody's your enemy now because you're an idiot.
Right.
And
That actually
and-
made me sad when they talked
and
about that yesterday.
nobody has your back. So now you've gone
Right.
from a unit to
We've gone from a tight-knit group that everybody is
Yeah.
looking out to help each other survive and get through it, and then you come back here
Right.
and everyone's like, "Fuck you."
so there are different things, right? Scott, you've gone a couple of years. Mike Krejci and I have done it for over 20 years. Man camp, and it's just a long weekend. and we unplug, but we talk about and do things, not just, there's things that are said there that you wouldn't say here, or if it was like Jen, Alice, Mike, and I, there's topics and things that we discuss that wouldn't be discussed with
It's getting weird
with women. It is.
Well,
I don't know how to say it. Right?
Can you a little bit?
We're not
be
sitting
more
around.
specific?
We're not.
No,
It's not like Lord of the Flies.
Right,
We're not.
but no, I think what he's trying to say is there's no topic that we can bring up there that is like taboo, right?
Yeah.
Like, if this is the way you feel, buddy, tell me about
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Get
it off your chest.
Right. And so we've talked about this, like when we talk with our wives, it's one of those questions like, do you want me to answer or do you want me just to listen?
Yeah.
Right. And at man camp, I think it's really just a listen.
Right.
Right. And then at night, maybe around the fire, when we'll start talking about, wow, that's, I start feeling the same.
It's your turn scenario.
If you
Right,
make it
right.
to the fire.
Right.
So
if you make it to the fire.
Right. Depends on what you're
but-
on around.
Right, but so
8 o'clock,
everybody needs a comfy zone to go to, right, where they can talk about whatever and not feel judged, right? And that's a big, like these guys yesterday on Roger That, they were kind of talking about,
Great show. Really
they're
is.
talking about, back in when they're in the service with everybody, they know that they can talk to everybody. They've got their back because they all have
Their
their
brotherhood.
brotherhood.
I
But
love
they
their
also have the
stories.
same. They also have the
It's
same
cool.
goal in mind, right? Which is to survive,
Yeah.
right? So they're in, and then you get back to the States. They don't have their brothers with them constantly, right? And
Well-
their survival is pretty much on them, and the world's not here to help them
Joe
and being
Dispenza.
back with them. But in the military, they have their backs, and there's always something there to support them. Out here, there's no support. That's why we have such a glut of servicemen and women coming back that are
and
lost.
The brotherhood continues here.
But they're not
support
seeing them
each other.
every day,
They don't get to see them every day.
and they don't get to work with them every
Right.
day. So they are on their own. They're
That's why
waking
there's
up in their
groups.
own bed, right?
That's why there's groups.
Right, and like the VFWs and stuff like that. It's the only negative to me with the VFWs. It's a bar, right?
Well,
It's
Right.
but so they're coming back to gather, but then they're sitting there drinking.
correct.
Yeah.
So it's good and bad
Oh.
because you can.
It can't.
You're
be,
going there,
I guess.
right?
Well,
Well,
I
you,
mean,
if
it
you
could
don't
be
have
the ground for all.
That
them,
could be
right,
an
you know?
opium house. I mean, so
It could be
You're
an
trying to
opium
bar
house.
doesn't mean
Right.
they all drink either.
Yeah.
Right, but
There's a
it,
mindset to that, right?
right, but I mean, not too many people that go in there don't drink, and that could be a negative. I mean, a lot of them are going in there to drink because it does quell or quash the your third brain,
Well,
or
it helps when
your
they're
third
telling
voice in
stories
your
about
brain.
Each other eases the pain, whatever.
Right.
they're
Well, and it
drinking,
takes them
I'm sure
it
they're-
away from the pain
Yep.
of their
Yep.
everyday stuff, and and somewhat of it for me is kind of avoidance, right?
Right.
Because they drink and they talk about it. They're drinking, they're avoiding it. They're still going to wake up tomorrow with the same shit. So then that's when
And
it
a
ends up
hangover.
right,
Right.
and less money in their pocket,
Right.
right? And that's where it could get out of hand and become a crappy routine.
It could be.
You
It
know,
could be.
I mean, I know the bars that are around downtown. I see the same cars. They're
Oh, they're bar flies. They're tavern,
Right.
Tavern flies.
right. But I mean, and that's and that's where a lot of these military people, and I'm not dissing them by any way, shape, or form,
I
but
will
they're going to
Scott's gonna be well hated today.
That's
right.
right.
Well,
By
they're
millions of
they're
people.
going to meet back up with their brothers and
Everybody's
sisters
throwing
that
eggs.
served right. That everyone
Well, not eggs.
served.
That's like throwing gold bars. Right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right.
They can't afford it.
That's right.
But they're meeting up with everybody to kind of get that feeling back again, right?
Yeah.
Of having that brotherhood, of the closeness of I've got your back,
Yeah.
right? And it's where they can shut their brain down because they're going to have conversations with people that are there that have gone through the same stuff and are going through the same
So,
potentially the
you know,
same stuff. They're there.
The veterans amongst let's just get out of that space. Of veterans for a
Yeah.
second. So the world in itself, like, listen, everything, there has been no change. Everything is the same. It's just in your face. You got internet now. You got
Yeah.
all this stuff.
Yeah.
So you're just aware. of
Same
it.
shit's
It's more-
happening.
right.
Same
Right,
shit's
right.
happening. Yeah, you're just way
So
more aware and
it's
awake.
always been who you surround yourself with and the network and the groups of people that you put yourself around is the atmosphere you become.
Yeah.
So
100%.
If you go out and you create your support group by the people, I'm surrounded by awesome friends and awesome people all the time. You guys being part of that.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I've
Right.
seen me some fun there, baby.
Right. I'll cut the check. But it's
That is
just
that's
about-
coming from
and so,
Cappuccino.
listen, if you want to be leveled up, then you need to level yourself up by putting yourself in the spot with people that matter.
Yeah.
And what matters to everybody might be different, right?
Yeah.
So if you're surrounded by a bunch of bank robbers all the time, guess what you're going to be doing later? Right. If you're surrounded by people that do nothing but lift you up and lift each other up, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be a success because you have that support.
Well, you are who you surround yourself with, right?
Building the support system.
Right, and that's you are the culmination of the five closest people to you.
I mean, talking about lifting people up, we've got great shows. Fridays we're always stacked front to back. You start with the grounds here. I'm not saying that's good, but anyway,
it is
up
good.
By Bridging Civil Tension runs on Fridays at 9 a.m. with Phil Wallace, author, entrepreneur. The guy is huge. And that's just good stuff going on there. And you know, that show made it into the Lansing Journal.
No.
Yeah, so the show last week, his show,
Bridging Civil,
with the guest on with Karen Abbott Trimmel at the Lansing Journal newspaper, did an article on it.
No, that was a really good show with her.
Right? Yeah,
you know, she's there raising people up.
She's awesome.
She's
cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then we've got innovative strategies with Bill Hossey. It's a small business. The show that airs on today is with Mark Carter. Is coming in, which is he's a big part of 20. We're working him in to be a big part of 21/6 Creator Studios. Man's brilliant.
Podcast creating.
Got a great podcast. Check him out, Mark Carter. And then we've got the Neighborhood Pulse. We've got In the Know with Steph and Joe. We've got new shows coming up. Of course, we've talked a little bit about the new show, Roger That. We've got
when is Roger That? When is that?
That's
Thursdays
the first and third Thursdays at 11 a.m.
Mark it in your calendar.
Yeah, that's a really good show because that gives you
a really cool show.
That gives you a it's great because it gives you a perspective of what actually these guys think, and ladies. I'm not dissing girls, but these two guys that do it, but really what they think and what they go through.
Nice save, Scott.
Yeah, right.
last Sunday, you and I went down to our Addison studio, and wow, what a transformation Mike and the Dream Home experts are doing down there. Kind of gives me goosebumps talking about it. Some neat things will be happening out there. The experts will be back for their fifth season.
Fifth. I think it's the fifth season.
Fifth season. And they're on Friday nights at 8 every other one. But when they come back, it's going to be cool. Got a new vibe. I mean, the studio looks awesome. I mean,
we're talking about doing full band recordings and doing behind the band podcasts, as well as maybe even a 21/6 Battle of the Bands.
Battle of the Bands. I like that one.
It's gonna be cool. And then we got Leveling Up. It's gonna be a DCCS production through 216 Creator Studios.
That guy's pretty cool.
Drew Cappuccino is gonna be hosting that. Leveled Up.
Level Up. I like the name on that one.
Listen, this is gonna be a big one because it's business, it's personal. I mean, this is gonna touch everybody.
Try to help level up your life as well as level up your business. You got to level up your life because business is just part of your life.
Yeah,
right.
So it's just all the professionals.
Well, it all flows into each other.
Yeah,
on a global footprint to voice their expertise to help people. It's going to be great.
I've got to quit ignoring Lisa because
why would you ignore Lisa?
I've just been my excuse is I've been busy
because we're talking here. It's the grounds.
But she has the potential of coming back if I would just call her and set it up. She had a great show, a new direction on her show. And Lisa, I haven't forgot about you. I'm just busy, so you can slap me when we see each other. But
for $20,
what she does,
that's fantasy fair.
What she does, and she comes. What she's going to bring is going to be cool too. What do we got? Of course, Anything Goes is back now this week. This Sunday will be another live show with Bremer and Jones. We've got How Well Will It Sell? There's things that are rolling out that will be rolling out. It's really cool. The other cool thing is you can find us out on Apple Music. Just punch in 216. Out on TuneIn Radio app. Punch in 216 the net. We're now out on Twitch. We're live on Twitch. Hi, Twitch Nation. Glad to have you with us. 216
Yeah, don't forget about we're picking 5 kids from the local schools to teach them how to build their own podcast.
Yep.
And then pushing a scholarship fund for it. And
Right.
then giving them some job placement in one of our studios we
Yep.
get out.
Right. And that's
cool.
And that's huge because you're giving a hand up, right?
Yep.
And not a handout, hand up.
So a lot of
Opportunity.
great stuff going out, and it's just and we're glad that y'all are a part of it, and the support is wonderful, and coming along on this journey is going to be cool because 216 Creator Studios could be the next Starbucks.
I'm gonna change that comment that you made. It's not could, it will. Because then we can change the world one day at a time, one person at a time.
I thought it was.
It is. Well, it's all in your word choices, right? And that's where the subconscious comes in. If you're saying could, maybe. No, will.
I'm going to assume our theme today is the brain.
We didn't really have one. It's
today
just kind of a
just-
free for all,
it's a
open
free for all.
forum. We said we really had nothing. Our week was busy. Usually Scott and I touch base a lot during the week to set up the show, and it's just this week had just been so busy for both of us, and we couldn't ever settle on anything as we were talking. So we said, all right, let's just open forum. And
sometimes it's the best.
That's the whole thing about the ground,
right? Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I do like to do the mental and the kind of blend it with
when
the
it comes
spiritual.
to mental, Scott, we definitely think about you. Brother.
I know. And so Drew Cappuccino, thanks for stopping in today. But you know what? So like I was at my buddy's house the other night. It was, Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And we just were sitting around having a good time, bullshitting, watching some YouTube videos and stuff.
Sure.
And we started talking, man to man or guy to guy, right?
Yeah.
And I told him, and he didn't know about the podcast. I'm like, dude, really? I've known you for how long? And we haven't talked about it. He's like, because we talk about other things, right? And he's like, what do you talk about? And I said, just about freaking anything. Right. But then we started chatting, right? And everyone has issues, right? But nobody wants to talk about them, usually, because they're embarrassed. Dude, the comments and the conversation that we had after talking or, letting him know what I'm doing, he just like literally opened up, and you could just see how much better he felt.
It's awesome.
Saying the shit to me that he's saying, and I look at him like, dude.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what.
You're no different than anybody else, but you don't talk to anybody.
Podcasts that I've popped in and out of, man, this is really fun. Just because it is about just about everything, and it's more.
It's about life and being a person.
So can I poke at something?
Well done. Well done. We got to give her credit here. There is no such show that Kent and Scott do successfully called The Brain.
Wow.
No, hey, I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Hey, now.
Hey, we're learning every day, Lisa.
Mute
with
her
people
mic,
like you, we help us.
So real quick, let me throw this at you. What are your thoughts on the spy balloon scenario? Alien, not alien. I mean,
so what a lot of people don't know is that was actually the 216 Creator Studio.
Yeah, that what we were just
on the back side of it was our big logo. But it was pointed to Canada, so it's like the Remax balloon. It was a 216. We just wanted to get that out there.
We're just trying to get we're advertising.
Our transmitter.
Right? Yeah, because we're trying to get ahead of the game. So what was your question on that one again?
So I mean the information that we're getting is so minimal, right?
Well, probably most of the information we're getting is bullshit anyway.
Well, of course. So that's why I'm asking Alex, just what are your thoughts to that?
I think honestly, and I don't like to get into a lot of this shit because I just don't, but for me, it's a distraction.
Okay.
Look what's going on over here.
Yep.
Oh my God, pay attention to these stupid balloons, right?
Not over here.
Don't look over here because we're changing all these stupid rules and stuff that you guys don't pay attention to because you feel like you have no say.
I just want to say that you mentioned a big balloon and we gathered a bunch more listeners all of a sudden.
The bots are right. Listening. All the bots are coming in.
I thought that. And then I said, no way. Here's why. When you're a kid, right, and you get caught in a lie, you start doing a bunch of other little things to make it seem like it wasn't a lie.
Sure.
So all of a sudden, big balloon goes floating by. Right? Not a spy balloon. And then in the next 2 weeks, there's 14 little balloons that we shot down.
Right.
Nobody really saw the other balloons, right? But now we start flooding with, no, this is pretty normal. Look how many there were.
Right, you just don't know it.
Right? So at first I thought distraction, but then I go, well, not now, because they're really trying to make it look like it's not unusual.
Which still could be the distraction.
It's still the
for something
distraction
else.
because you're paying attention to what they're saying about if it's usual,
yeah.
not unusual.
So not necessarily number one. I don't know anybody that would use the tactic of a balloon to spy.
Well, right. So that was the thing too. I was
Number
thinking
one.
about that one.
Right.
You know, they got satellites.
Right.
That is literally like a Naked Gun 33 and a third.
I'm pretty
or
sure
something.
there's like a bunch of dudes in their garage like, let's send up 10 more
Right.
to see what happens.
Right. It-
Just fucking around.
Well,
Who knows?
I got 3 drones and the thing got
Yeah,
caught in an
yeah.
airstream and go whoop.
Yep.
Whoopsie.
And that's. I mean, yeah, I don't know. But that's
Do you
basically
know
how
much money it costs to send out one of those fighter jets to shoot down a fucking balloon?
Yeah.
And why would you? Why do you
So-
need to send a fighter jet out to shoot it
Yeah,
out?
Like, here, give me a BB gun. I'll save you half the money.
Right.
Maverick, I'm going in.
Right. I mean, it's an interesting. That's
I
an
got it.
interesting question, and
Bye-bye.
we don't generally do politics
Yeah.
here. But I have to
Yeah,
ask
Sal,
why.
you're right. Wag the dog.
Well, I don't
I have.
necessarily
Yeah, it
consider
is wag the dog. Yeah.
I don't necessarily think this is. To me, it's not politics. It's just a mystery question.
All right. Well, governmental.
Well, the unfortunate thing is and Ray Zelinsky said it the best: what the American people don't know, make them the American people, right?
That's true.
And that's on Tommy Boy. So that's Dan Aykroyd as
So
Ray
that's
Zelinsky, the auto parts king.
Right.
And that's the truth, right?
Housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
And so to me, what we don't know is that there are probably thousands of balloons that track jet streams and weather patterns and whatnot. And this one just got outside of the range of the guy with the remote control. We're like, oh shit, or he was like,
Like four of
oh
them,
shit,
right?
you know,
So there's
I
like
don't-
4 of them.
Whoa.
I don't know. That's right. You're right.
And
And
the same guy who's been drinking did all 4 balloons.
Shane
Damn, there
says,
was another one.
Shayna says, wag the dog, and the
Well,
dog's
so
ugly.
like for me, right? But like for me, like okay, I say distraction. You say maybe not so much. So let's take it a step further. So how many trains derailed last week
I don't know.
and were caught on fire with chemicals? I heard there was like 6.
6. Wow. That's a
They
lot
had
of
the
trains.
one in Ohio.
All at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, like within the same week that were derailed and
That
caught
seems
on
a
fire.
little like a mystery, right? That's
Right?
Like Scooby Doo.
That's what I'm saying.
Scooby-Doo-y.
Just-
Could be
just-
somebody with a mask.
That's right.
Yeah.
I would have got away with it
a
if it
little
wasn't for those
distraction or
meddling
just a-
teens.
Is that a sign? Is that a distraction? A coinky-dink? Coincidence?
Yeah, I don't know. There's something definitely happening.
The best-
We just don't know.
The best was the president of the United States. The reason why they didn't, they let it go all the way across America and shoot it down. Did you hear what he said? The president of the United States goes, well, we could you imagine if we shot that down and the debris fell on a school?
Moron.
That's what he said.
Could you imagine if
And
that
I'm
on a
like-
school?
I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. I didn't even think of the school scenario.
Poor
Right.
kids.
Right,
we-
all of a
it's-
sudden, you just
It
see
was
this
just
big
hovering
thing.
over
Yeah.
a giant elementary.
Right. Yeah, we wait. Yeah, it's
I
like
don't know.
yeah, it's not like we don't have a ton of open fields and
Yeah.
stuff.
I got
that you
nothing
can do
better to say, but let's bring children into this.
Oh,
They've been
Well,
traumatized.
That made it
We did mention
legit.
Weekend at Bernie's, right?
yeah, that's
I'm
average
neither right or left, man, but damn.
average of 1,700 derailments a year. I'm to believe what I read. If I'm to believe it,
Wow, that's a lot.
it's a lot of derailments.
That's
Yeah.
scary if that's really the number.
Is
Damn.
somebody like putting too many pennies on the track?
Too
We
many
can.
times.
I love doing that as a kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a
Not if
story on
pennies
that.
are
Good
gone.
morning, by the way, Shane. I appreciate your comments always.
Yes.
She always comes up with it, and she's got the knowledge this lady has is just amazing. Or she's
Or
just got
maybe
really
she's
quick with
artificial
Google.
intelligence.
Yeah, maybe
I
she's
don't
an
know.
AI bot. We don't even
She's
realize
listening
it.
to the story, and she's on a computer at the same time.
Yeah,
That's pretty smart.
that's, that's
Intelligent.
It's intelligent.
She knows how to look things up pretty good.
I don't think she's.
We
looking
love
a
her,
lot
and
of
if
it.
you are a bot, Shayna, I love you because now I can say I have a friend that's a bot.
Well, I love the fact that she's actually putting some good data out.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Period.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, and that might be very well true. I mean, think about the thousands and thousands and thousands of trains that are running around, right? But for me, and since you brought that up, I had to throw that out there. It's like, but it just seems
Well, no,
far, a week,
Sure.
because that's what I hear a lot of people talking
Sure.
about. You know, the balloons were, you know, almost old news now because now these trains are on fire. And
Somebody just needs to get slapped again, and everybody will forget about it.
right?
Can I just say,
Or put the president back on and worry about it. It'll redirect everyone's brain. Oh, what is she saying? It says,
she said,
I know someone personalized that has derailed a train when he was a kid. I'm a bot.
she is a bot. All right.
I know. I think she meant I know someone personally that
Yeah,
has
that's
derailed
right.
a train. Well, we actually had a train derail when we were a kid, like right outside our neighborhood. And it literally, the engine, right up the way we had the gas distribution center, I guess you would call it, with all the big tanks and everything. Like literally, the engine rested, came to rest, like
And where were
dug
you-
into the ground.
And
Like,
where were you, Scotty?
I was riding my
Yeah.
motorcycle
Yeah.
when it happened.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I did put pennies on the rail,
Yeah.
but I was
hope-
actually one of the first people on scene with my
I've
good
seen-
old
I've
Pentax
seen
camera.
Ghost Rider before. He rode a motorcycle too.
That's right.
No matter.
Here's the other thing is at some point here in America, I would like to believe that the government is not trying to kill us, is not trying to, you know what I'm saying?
If you'd like to believe that, don't watch the news.
We've built so much up into everything that everything now is, well, they're out. Listen, the government is a bunch of rich people in those positions to get richer. That's it.
Yeah,
If
they're
you
trying to
take a look
secure
at the
themselves,
net
yeah.
worth of people who go in, the elected officials, when they go in to when they come out, a lot different. Huge, right? Truthfully, if you are upset with the way that your life looks by the government, you have to start with your local government, start with your local school board. If you can't name 5 people on your school board, shame on you. These are the people who are making a lot of decisions. Are your taxes too high? That's your school board passing referendums, people, right? It's not, has nothing to do with a color of a house someplace else, right?
Right.
So the idea of the big government, no, it's the local people who really put a hurt on you, right? So
The one's closest to home.
if you want to look at that, because here in America, the way it still works, our states are individual states.
Yeah, they're individual states,
Well,
right?
it's easier to do a lot of this. Right?
Oh yeah,
Well, pointing a finger is
Right.
easy.
Nobody ever wants to be wrong. Nobody ever wants to be in trouble. Nobody
Right.
ever wants to, admit faults.
right.
I shouldn't say nobody, but there's a lot of
Lot.
people that don't.
Mhm.
So until we can get past that nonsense, a lot of politics is, I don't know if you know this, but I'm kind of a big deal
Oh, hey,
kind of personality.
Yeah,
I know a few
right.
myself that's
you
close
do
to
have
home.
the it factor.
Oh,
Yeah.
they got the it factor and the whole 9
I just
yards.
talked to mine yesterday.
They turn out to be like, hey, I wouldn't have you wash the dishes in my restaurant.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they utilize that to paint an image to gain the money and the respect they think they deserve.
Yeah.
Because they've already convinced themselves that they're kind of a big deal. They're a legend in their own mind.
Yeah.
So a lot of that is through the
Yeah.
political stuff.
Yeah, it's bad.
Well, your typical politician, I think, feels that way, but there are some that are trying to make a difference.
I
everywhere.
agree.
Yeah, everywhere.
Listen,
but
I
they
agree
get
with
sucked
that.
into the
I
machine.
think that, a lot of that is they go in with great effort and then somebody goes like this. All right, now watch this. And it's the truth of everything. They're like, oh, shit.
Oh yeah,
That's something
why,
we can talk
that's
about
why
off the air.
that's why presidents age like twice as fast while they're in office.
Of course.
They go in,
Well,
they
they no
come out,
sleep,
they're like,
dude.
oh, they've learned some of the world's secrets, and they're like,
I know.
oh, fuck.
They get gray or they lose all their hair
Yeah.
when they know everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You notice I got a full head of hair that I need to
right.
learn.
Right.
They're all gay.
Anyways, I just
Yeah.
wanted to poke a little bit at the balloon, so we can move off of that if you want.
Well, actually, we're already gone past time today.
Yeah.
Holy
Uh-oh.
crap. See how it happens when we get
Cappuccino
rolling?
comes
Did we-
in,
did we
Cappuccino
learn about
gets us
fires up the
fired up.
last end of it.
Did we learn about Project Northwoods yet? One of over 30 programs used against our own citizens in the past.
That's
I
something we'll have to
look at
research maybe for next
that.
week. A little
And
political Project Northwood. That's
we are all guinea pig. Sales says it's about the bottom dollar. Yep, PAC funded.
Always is.
Oh yeah, always. Listen, we got to run. We're about 5 minutes over. We got to run, but we want to thank everybody for joining us here this morning on this round of the grounds. Come back and hang out with us because Bridging Civil Tension, Phil Wallace, author, entrepreneur, great guy, coming in and just going to talk about some good stuff. So until we meet again, be good.
Be good to yourself, but
more
you say be more importantly, be good to each other.
That's
right.
Right. And learn and live with each other and talk to each other. That's, I think, the big thing is communicate, people.
Be the change.
Be the change you want to be in the world, right? I mean, and real quickly, I mean, every old person I've talked to has a successful marriage or successful life. Communication and compromise. 216 the net.
And many secrets.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We love y'all.